Hi, I'm Corbin Sanders, and today I'll be discussing American Kleptocracy by Casey Michel. This investigative masterpiece dives deep into how the United States became a central hub for global money laundering, enabling corrupt leaders and criminals to hide their illicit wealth. Michel opens with the striking line, "No country has done more to open its doors to stolen wealth than the United States." This bold statement introduces the central argument of the book. The U.S. has built a legal infrastructure that welcomes and protects kleptocrats who steal from their countries and invest their money in American assets and industry. American Kleptocracy explains how U.S. states like Delaware and Nevada make it extremely easy to form anonymous shell companies, legal entities that don't require naming an owner. Michel shows how this setup invites foreign leaders, business tycoons, and criminal networks to launder money through assets like luxury real estate, yachts, and private equity. He also covers the failure of post-9/11 laws like the Patriot Act and the Bank Secrecy Act to stop this kind of economic infiltration, especially through real estate and legal loopholes. This book is divided into sections based on different types of financial crime and regions. So there's not really a full plot, or it's not your average true crime novel where there's one crime and you're reading to figure out the details, maybe the perpetrators, a trial. This is American Kleptocracy is more of a broad overall assessment of a big crime that continually goes on. Some key figures are Teodorin Obiang, the son of Equatorial Guinea's dictator, who used U.S. companies to launder millions. He also bought a $30 million mansion in Malibu, a $38 million private jet, and $3 million in Michael Jackson memorabilia. This was all stolen money from the people of Equatorial Guinea that he laundered through the United States. Michel also covers Ukrainian oligarch Igor Kolomoisky, who laundered billions of dollars through PrivatBank and then bought commercial real estate and factories in the American Midwest. These stories highlight how easy it is for corrupt people to clean stolen money using the American economy. Some key events are Michel describing how the mechanisms of money laundering and how people get away with this, which is how shell companies work. A person forms a company in a state like Delaware with minimal identification. That shell then opens a bank account, buys property, or invests money. Since no real name is required, criminals can move millions and millions with little oversight. Michel points out that over 2 million new companies are formed in the U.S. every year, many with no known owner or actual business purpose. And it's easier in Delaware than anywhere in the world to create an anonymous company. Why it matters. The U.S. becomes complicit in global suffering. By making money laundering easy, it allows kleptocrats to remain in power back home. Their people suffer while stolen money floods U.S. markets. In cities like New York and Miami, housing markets inflate due to anonymous real estate purchases. Michel explains how empty condos bought by shell companies raise prices and reduce affordability for locals. Personal connection. Reading this book reminded me of watching a TV show or like political conspiracy thriller movie like Narcos or Ozarks that seems far-fetched but is actually a decent representation of how illegal money flows through the economy. But this was a shock to me how big a role America plays in keeping these systems running. The academic response. This book is very dense with legal and financial terminology, but Michel's writing is clear, urgent, and engaging. He uses real names, figures, and dollar amounts, which drives home the scope of the problem. He uses a lot of footnotes and interviews and reports from groups like the Financial Action Task Force to make his claims credible and backed by evidence. I would recommend this book to anyone interested in global finance, politics, investigative journalism. It's an eye-opening book about how financial crime hides in perfectly legal systems. Michelle's conclusion is clear. The U.S. must reform its laws and increase transparency to stop enabling these crimes. I'll leave you with this quote.